Srila Prabhupada, who had for many years his very personal association. Srila Prabhupada prepared Maharaj for a long time to do the service which he is doing now all over the world. Srila Bhaktisvarupa Damodara Maharaj is our science preacher. He travels all over the world and gives and attends scientific conferences where he presents the thesis which will revolve in the scientific community. Life comes from life. This is a motto which Prabhupada has given to him, and Prabhupada has trained him very nicely to go to all these scientists and inspire them for a new paradigm, that actually it's not matter which is the cause of life, and the cause of the universe even. It is life, the supreme life of Krishna, which is the source of everything. Life comes from life. So we are very fortunate, and please let us to have him, and please let us do it, tune ourselves into this evening. Wir wollen uns einstimmen. It is very often described in our scriptures that the association with saintly persons gives rise to all perfections in our spiritual life. So, although it is a little late and you have waited and we have driven for 10 hours in cars in Italian traffic, still we want to give our best to make best use of this evening and have a sadhu sangha which inspires one and all. So for that we will sing the song Vaishnava Thakur. Maharaj will sing a song which glorifies the devotees of the Lord who have Krishna in their hearts and who can give Krishna to us. Is it working? Yes. Badanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurat Vishe Namaha Vaishnava Thakur Dayara Shagara Edase Karuna Kuri 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 Edase Karuna Kuri Edase Karuna Kuri Vaishnava Thakur Dayara Shagara Edase Karuna Kuri Vaishnava Thakur Dayara Shagara Edase Karuna Kuri Diya Parasaya Shodohe Amaya Tomar Choron Chori Diya Parasaya Shodohe Amaya Tomar Choron Chori Tomar Choron Chori Tomar Choron Chori
Tomara Chorona Dhori Tomara Charana Dhori Vaishnava Thakura Dayar Sagara Edase Karuna Kori Vaishnava Thakura Dayar Sagara Edase Karuna Kori Edase Karuna Kori Edase Karuna Kori Deya Pada Saya Shodohe Amaya Deya Pada Saya Shodohe Amaya Tomar Chorona Dhori Tomar Chorona Dhori Tomar Chorona Dhori Tomar Chorona Dhori Shaya Vedagami Shaya Dosha Jodi Shaya Gunade Hodasi Shaya Vedagami Shaya Dosha Jodi Shaya Gunade Hodasi Shaya Changa Dehe Amare Bose Se Sange Hodasi Jai Sadhana Dehe Amare Bose Se Sange Rase 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 Ekake amar nahi paaye bhav Hari naam sankirtani Ekake amar nahi paaye bhav Hari naam sankirtani Ekake amar nahi paaye bhav Hari naam sankirtani Ekake amara nahi paya bala Hari Nama Sankirtane Tumi kripa kore Shraddha bindu deya Deha Krishna Nama-Hatta Tumi kripa kore Shraddha bindu deya Deha Krishna Nama-Hatta Deha Krishna Nama-Hatta Deha Krishna Nama-Hatta Vaishnava Thakura Dayar Sagara Edase Karuna Kori Vaishnava Thakura Dayar Sagara Edase Karuna Kori Edase Karuna Kori Edase Karuna Kori Krishna se tomara Krishna se tomara Tomara Shakti Krishna se tomara Krishna se tomara Tomara Shakti Ami to Kangal Krishna Krishna bole Bhai tab paashe Ami to Kangal Krishna Krishna bole Bhai tab paashe Ami to Bhai tab paashe Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare संकीर्तन की
जय।
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परमदचार्य स्तोत्र सतस्वं डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय स्कंद पांडचार्य जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परमदचार्य स्तोत्र सतस्वं डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्तिवेदांत श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। इस राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा में जमुना में की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे समवेद भक्तवृंद की जय। जय सेंट गालन नामा-हट्टा वैष्णवी प्रोग्राम की जय। जय हिज हॉलीनेस सचिनंद स्वामी महाराज की जय। जय गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे वेद भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the Son of the Lord.
हरे कृष्ण।
All glories to the Son of the Lord.
हरे कृष्ण।
All glories to the Son of the Lord. Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Jai Shri Gauranga की
जय। गौरनाथ सतगुरु दामोदर महाराज की जय।
So this was the prediction of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu that the chanting of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra will be heard in every town and village. And by the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and a sincere work of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, now we can see in every part of the world this Krishna consciousness is visible. And the song that we just sang just now, in Krishna consciousness, our cultural foundation is actually, let's say, Bhagavad Seva.
This is according to the Krishna conscious tradition. It's called Bhagavad culture. So the foundation is called Bhagavad Seva. So in Bhagavad Seva that includes the worship of the spiritual master, the saintly people. So this song is composed by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So here he is actually describing the foundation of our Krishna consciousness. So Vaishnava Thakur, Dayara Sagara, Edasi Karuna Kori. So Bhagavat, or the saintly people, the saintly personalities like our Guru Maharaja Srila Prabhupada, they are worshipable. So the prayer of the sincere seeker of the truth, the sincere servant who is proceeding in the path of Krishna consciousness, is always praying for the blessings. The Vaishnava Thakur, Dayala Sagara, that the quality of the saintly people they are ocean of mercy. Dayala Sagara, Sagara means ocean, Daya means mercy. So they are composed of this the ocean of mercy. This is the symptoms. Dayala Sagara. So then the prayer is the Edasi Karuna Kori. So please be merciful unto me. Edasi Karuna Kori. Karuna means please kindly shower your blessings into me. So this is the approach. This is the background of the preparation of our mental and physical and our psychological preparation in this journey of this Krishna Bhakti, trying to understand what is Krishna Bhakti. So this preparation is very foundational. It's like when you go to college, there is a preparatory courses required. You cannot go to, let's say, the college unless you have some high school background. So similarly, in trying to go into the devotional path called Bhakti Marga, devotional path, we have to prepare. And so in that preparation, that is a foundational preparation. In this Bhakti Marga, it is a very important principle in Krishna consciousness. Without this, we cannot go further. It's like to build something, though we need a good foundation. So if the foundation is good, if something is built on that foundation, it will last, it will grow, and whatever you build that, it will stay there. But if the foundation is not there, then any time when there is a little, let's say minor earthquake, then everything falls apart and is finished. Therefore, this preparation or foundational preparation is very essential in our Krishna consciousness also. So Bhaktivinoda says that in the age of Kali, that is Sankirtana, means congregational chanting of the holy name of Sri Hari in the form of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this chanting, this is the prescribed spiritual medicine for this age of Kali. This age is called the age of science and technology. It means Kali. Kali means quarrel, because in order to quarrel, you have to have some instruments, either the guns or some kind of bombs. So these are Kali Yuga means the age of machines. So in this age of machines, the quarreling, let's say, symptoms are prominent. So in order to remove this type of mentality, that is the spiritual medicine, prescribed medicine is Harinam Mahamantra, congregation in the form of chanting. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, all of this medicine is available, but alone, when I am alone, Ekaki Amar, Nahim Paival, Harinam Sankirtan. When we are alone, that it is very difficult. It's not very practical. So therefore the congregational chanting is very emphasized in this practice also. In chanting means in large numbers together, just like therefore Sankirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let's say the inauguration of Sankirtan is the revolution against Kaji in big numbers, Sankirtan, chanting, drumming and singing and with all the instruments. So in this way, all the unwanted elements will run away, will go away by this spiritual force of Sankirtan. But when one is alone, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Ekakiyama nahi pai bol, means I don't have the strength. He says, bol means strength. When one is alone, then it is very difficult. You don't have the strength. So in this way, we need the blessings of we seek the blessings of the Vaishnavas. Vaishnava Thakur, Dayara Sagara, Edasi Karuna Kari. So in this way, this is a preparation of, in the form of giving respect to the saintly people, and also learning this culture of humility and giving respect to everyone, and truthfulness, and very peaceful, and to be tolerant, but Titikshava Karanikas, and the Santaha, and being very peaceful, then Ajatta Satravaha, then having no enemy. So these are preparation in order to be properly situated in this Bhakti Marga. So this preparation is very much essential. So this way Bhaktivinoda Thakur was at least giving this a foundational, this a platform, so that the sincere seeker of in the devotional journey can get this knowledge and try to imbibe this in one's life and become properly situated. So this is very important. So the Prabhupada came, Guru Maharaj Prabhupada came. He was sent by Krishna so to pick all us up from this ocean of material miseries. So therefore, somehow or other, we are all attracted to his mission. Some of us are attracted to the nice halwa, some are attracted to the singing, some are attracted to dancing, some are attracted to the hair cutting style, some are attracted to in so many different forms, the festivals, so many different ways. But those things are some kind of Krishna's tricks, so that the sincere souls will be attracted to any form is good. When someone is attracted, whatever it may be, this is a wonderful thing. So someone attracted by Gauranga potato in the early days, the main attracting, as Prabhupada used to say, what is it? Simply wonderful. That in America, they have this very concentrated sweet balls, and many are attracted. And also this Gauranga potato, I remember that Gauranga potato full of ghee and color with this turmeric, and put in the oven with ghee is used as some kind of cooking material, and our devotees always enjoyed, and also many guests. So this Gauranga potato was very famous. And but whatever it may be, being attracted to the mission is a special blessings of Krishna. Krishna says, the scriptures say that by the blessings of Krishna we get a spiritual master, and by the blessings of spiritual master we get Krishna. That is it's a reciprocal thing. So Prabhupada has brought all of us in this mission, and some come from very young age, and some come in the encounter in the old days. But whatever stage it happens, I think it's only by the blessings of Krishna that we have come, and so we have to therefore dedicate our life in order to make a rapid progress, gradual progress in this part of Krishna consciousness. So this will happen by the blessings of the sadhus, the saintly people, the Vaishnavas. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful instruction by Prithu Maharaj that we all remember. So Prithu Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj is not ordinary personality. Actually, he is a representation of the Lord. very empowered personality, saintly, and sometimes he's a representation of the Lord himself. But so when he was enthroned, and then he did a yajna, and there he is. He invited all the prajas, all the people from all over, and then he was addressing them, saying that they are all your Vaishnavas, Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. So Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, so my dear Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, you are all worshipable. Because the dust of the Brahmanas, the dust of the Vaishnavas, so you please give me the dust of your, you put me on my head, so that I can discharge my duties properly. So he was praying for the blessings of all these assembled Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, so that he can do his duty properly. And this way, the mood in the Vaishnava relationship is a tremendous culture of humility. So the ornament of a saintly person is the humility, humbleness. So these are the ornament, the beautiful ornament of a Vaishnava. So Prithu Maharaj, his examples are just perfect. He was the king, he was the emperor, but at the same time he's dealings with the people, with the prajas, and he was extremely. Also he was requesting that, my dear prajas, my dear people, so I also you kindly follow the principles of this devotional life, so that by doing that you will bless me, and also your life will become successful. So in this way he was relating to his people in such a wonderful and humble, and at the same time very nobility connection with the gentle, and there's a concern for the prajas, for the well-being, also seeking blessings from all of them. So in this way it has to be both ways. And Krishna consciousness, our foundation is like that. In Krishna consciousness, about by the blessings of Prabhupada, we all brought together. And so if we have this little understanding about the foundation of Krishna consciousness, then our journey will become very natural, and the ups and downs in this it is natural that since we are in this material world, there will be, sometimes you have to cross just like the mountains, just like we crossed today, coming from going from here to Italy and coming back. Sometimes you cross beautiful tall mountains, and sometimes you have to cross through a tunnel, and sometimes you have to see beautiful forests. Similarly, life is like that journey. You have to, but if we have our consciousness properly tuned in serving the order of the spiritual, the Vaishnavas and the spiritual masters, then we'll all get strength and wisdom and intelligence how to cross all these ups and downs in life's journey. So in this way, the human form of life, the human birth will be worthwhile, and it will not be wasted. So this is the kind of a brief description about how we prepare in Krishna consciousness. So it's wonderful to see that so many wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, especially like in country like here in Western countries, like in Europe, especially in Switzerland, and these European countries, and also other countries of the world, especially in Europe. Europe is regarded as among Western countries, Europe is regarded as it's cultured. So therefore it is, I feel very fortunate to be able to, by the blessings of Prabhupada, have the opportunity to associate in the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis here in this part of the world. So as a part of that preparation, Sacinandana Maharaja was telling me that our here, this St. Gallen's this Nama-Hatta group is going to Vrindavan shortly. So Vrindavan is the place of Lord Krishna, and it is about 2.5 hours away from Delhi. So when you land to New Delhi, the road is reasonably good in Indian standard, but compare here, it will be still not as good as here, but it's a lot better than, say, about some 30 years ago. 30 years in Prabhupada's time, road was extremely bad, and so only recently in the last, I will say about 5-6 years, so the road has become, at least from Delhi to Vrindavan, is very good road now. So it will take only about 2 to 2.5 hours, and generally the taxi drivers in Delhi are so it is better to arrange to maybe to the temple. Some devotees should know about the place there. If you're going directly from the airport, so it is better to some kind of a pre-arrange the vehicle. I think if you arrange it to the temple, I think they'll be happy to, because the taxi drivers in Delhi, especially Delhi, they are very, very cheating. It's a once I was hijacked. This is by a three-wheeler. I was using this called auto rickshaw, and so this fellow, one fellow, I was alone in auto rickshaw, and so this fellow was trying to hijack me in the wrong way, and but somehow my Prabhupada's blessings, I overcome that. Even to us, it happens all the time. Delhi, in India, in all the Indian cities, Delhi is the most trickiest, especially in the railway station and in the airports, and all this, is extremely tricky. Delhi, the rickshaw drivers. So therefore, so they should never travel alone. Especially in Delhi. Bombay is much better, and the Calcutta, this is much better. Although Calcutta, things are very also different, but they are different type of people. But they are not like Delhi type of people. So this is the question. Even in Mathura also, when you go to near Vrindavan, in Mathura station, you have to be very careful. So it is better to arrange it so that you don't encounter any. Sometimes also you have to be extremely careful about the finances in your pocket. They are well trained. This pocket. Pickpocket. It is a lot of, especially new. If you're going for the first time, so this is extremely important that you handle these things very carefully. Vrindavan, of course, when you go to Vrindavan, since we have Krishna Balaram temple, that you get all the information from there, and so you should not get any information from outside, just from our temple itself. Our Ganapati is the guest house, is the manager, so you just talk to Ganapati, and I'm sure he'll be very happy to help. I think it probably is, I'm not sure where you are staying. You plan to stay?
I don't know. I think they have a Dhamshala. Denuka.
This is arranged.
Yes,
Oh, I see,
it's
sir.
arranged.
Okay, so if it is someone is already knowing about this trip and it's arranged, it is always good. Vrindavan, it is very important that and then you have to be very careful about the rickshaw drivers in Vrindavan also. So you don't get disappointed when when you go to to a temple for darshan, and then there are many some coming for some beggars or some asking for some help, financial help. So so it's better that we don't give to everyone. Rather, it's better not to give just randomly, but just if you want to, let's say, donate a little bit, let's say donate to the deity, to the pujari, because that way it will be you can pay about 5 rupees or 10 rupees. So those things are we can offer it to the deities. But otherwise, if you once you start paying something, then there will be so many will come to you. So therefore, it is sometimes very difficult to manage the crowd. And another very important thing is very important, especially for the newcomers. You're going for the first time, so the Vrindavan monkeys are very expert. They know who is coming for the first time. They know all the residents who is coming for the first time to Vrindavan, then they will follow you. And so if you are carrying something back in your den or glasses, sometimes these monkeys will come and take it away, and they will just challenge you. Unless you give them some prasadam, they will not return this. So this happens like sticks, sometimes even the sticks like this, they come and take it away. Unless you'll be careful. And the bags, like if you are carrying sometimes a camera bag, and they will come all of a sudden. They are so smart. They will snatch away. And it happens all the time. And so please be careful about that. And it's better to have a little stick. If you do like this, and if you show it, then they don't so easily come. But at the same time, they are very sweet. And sometimes, if you want to give some, like a banana or like that, and they are sometimes very friendly and very happy. They say, "Welcome to Vrindavan." So now there are organized. Let's say, I think some friends are probably organizing. Say, when you want to go together, you all go together. Either you have you rent a. They say there are vehicles available in Vrindavan now. There's no problem, and there are fixed rates there. So let the local people, our temple devotees, speak about your. Suppose you go to Radhananda's place like Barsana, and this Jabat, this is a little far away, and in Govardhan and this Radhakon. So it is better. It is better to arrange properly through the local people. And one last thing that I would like to suggest is that the sweets that are available in the market. So please be careful in taking sweets, because these are all cooked outside, because you are coming for the first time. Your body is not acclimatized there for some time, but therefore there are because it requires certain resistance in the body. So therefore it is better to be careful to take sweets. It's better to take sweets from hygienic, from place like temples or some homes. There are these things are available, but outside it's better to be a little careful. Once in a while you can try it, but it's better to be a little careful. But now the climate, this is October, it's going to be soon October, so in about two weeks it will be October, right?
I think in 2 weeks you plan to go, is this correct?
So October is a good season. This is Kartik, and also we will be there in October. I think this year Prabhupada's festival is it falls on October 28, and so October. This is called Kartik. Kartik is called a Damodar month. So Damodar means Krishna stays in Vrindavan, bound by the love of Mother Yasoda. So that this month is worship in that mood. So there will be many pilgrims, and also it will be a little cooling. So we wish you all the best, and the blessings of Prabhupada and Radharani and Krishna. So you have a wonderful experience in Vrindavan, and you come back with the sarsas, with the spiritual experience, and then life will be transformed. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So Maharaj can speak few words now.
After Bhaktisvarupa Damodara Maharaj has talked about a spiritual principle that is service to the Vaishnavas, and has also given very practical advices, I would not like to take much more of the time because of the late nature of this program, but I would very much like to talk about one spiritual principle of a pilgrim. See, when you go to a sacred place of pilgrimage, you will actually find that this sacred place has two aspects or two dimensions. One is what you can visibly see and perceive with your senses, and the other is what you can hope to feel in your heart. When you go to Vrindavan, you should be prepared to enter the second dimension. You should be prepared to see the Vrindavan which is not available to for your sensual perception. You should be prepared to see Vrindavan as a consciousness, a place of Krishna consciousness. Once Prabhupada said, Vrindavan is not a point on the map, nicht ein Punkt auf der Landkarte. It is a state of consciousness. It is Krishna consciousness where everyone wishes to serve Lord Krishna. Just a few hours ago I read some of my mail, and someone was telling me, oh, I went to Vrindavan. It seems the amount of pigs have so much increased that there is always a parallel smell of stool available in Vrindavan. Prabhupada had spoken about this perception of Vrindavan. He has said that sometimes people say Vrindavan is a very dirty place with not so much environmental consciousness. But actually, for those who know that they understand Vrindavan is a spiritual place. Vrindavan is a place of Krishna consciousness. I will now challenge a little bit your intelligence. Please think for a while. How can one place have two dimensions? How is it possible? Isn't reality what we perceive of it? Listen very carefully, because I would like to give you an analogy. In this room, I can see cosmic pictures, people who are a little tired. Some of you look bored, and some of you look, when does prasadam finally appear? This is what I can see in this room with my senses. However, in this room there is a symphony. This was Bach, I believe. Johann Sebastian Bach. This symphony cannot be perceived by your material senses. You need a radio instrument which has an antenna, so that you can perceive the radio emission of the St. Gallen radio program, which at this moment plays maybe Bach or Mozart or rock and roll. What I want to say is, the radio emission is a reality, but you cannot perceive it with the eyes or hear it with the ears. You need certain instruments which enable you to hear the radio program, an antenna, radio receiver. In the same way, please do not think that you can register or understand Vrindavan with your material senses, with the eyes or with the ears. What goes on in Vrindavan is something much more divine than your eyes and ears can perceive. Vrindavan is the place of Lord Krishna's sacred appearance, and he has not just appeared and then disappeared like a tourist who visits a place and then goes some other place. No, Krishna is eternally present in Vrindavan, but he is not present for or perceivable with the material senses. He is perceivable only in your Krishna consciousness. And that is my first point. My second point is a simple recommendation how you can enter the realm of Krishna consciousness in the Holy Dham. Obviously, we know it is by the ninefold processes of devotional service, starting with Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing about Krishna and chanting. This should be first and foremost on your list. We want to hear about Krishna. We want to chant his holy names. I think you should take your harmonium with you, or borrow a harmonium in Vrindavan, or buy a harmonium and have your Mridanga and Karatats. This is the first key to come to the spiritual level of Krishna, of Vrindavan. It's the first key which will open the door to Vrindavan. But the second key, and I want to really make this point to you, is that you equip yourself well with the art of humility, with the practiced humility. When Lord Nityananda gave a guided tour to Jiva Goswami through Navadvip, he said, Jiva Goswami, there's only one way how you can experience the real Dham, and that is by becoming more humbler than the straw in the street, and in this way chant the holy names. This is the only way. Please know, you could now spend 1,500 or 2,000 Swiss francs. Come to Vrindavan, see the pigs of Vrindavan, become cheated by the rickshaw drivers of Vrindavan, become totally and Vrindavan reformer by thinking this needs an environmental reform, and go more or less frustrated with a sunburn back to Switzerland. I don't think this experience is worth 1,500 Swiss francs. You have the opportunity, however, to make another type of experience in Vrindavan. You have the opportunity to enter the spiritual domain by, first of all, equipping yourself with the powerful art of humility. A humble person can see everything what happens as Krishna's arrangement. When you go to Vrindavan, see everything as Krishna's arrangement. This will help you to enter the real Vrindavan, and then you should equip yourself with Shravanam and Kirtanam. I'm sorry, Shravanam Kirtanam means to hear about Krishna, chant about Krishna. And the last recommendation, enter Vrindavan with a service mode. When you see some garbage, don't complain about the garbage, pick it up and throw it somewhere to keep the Dham clean. When you see the deities, bring something for the pleasure of the deities. For instance, your Schweizer ghee is very good. Swiss ghee is very much appreciated. Or you can buy a garland for the deities for a few rupees and bring the garland for the deities, or put a little donation into the box. I saw today Bhaktisvarupa Damodara Maharaja. He came to the Medolago temple, and when everyone went to Prasadam, he went back into the temple. So I wanted to see what would he do alone in the temple. I am a curious person and a little free in my dealings. Do you know what he did? He comes from maybe the poorest country in the in some of the poorest country in the world. Manipur is not the poorest, but it is not so rich. But he went to the donation box of the deity, and he gave a little donation for the deities in the deity box. I observed you very minutely.
I didn't see you.
This is my nature. No one. I have this nature when I want to observe someone, no one sees me. And I saw and could even tell you the amount which you put into the box. If you and this is a concept. Come to the deities as a servant. Bring something for them. Then you will enter the real Vrindavan. I want to summarize what I said in a little story. Once there was a king who went, Maharaja, what a worldly king, who went to Vrindavan. He had, like many kings in the past, his little summer residence in Vrindavan. You can see many types of nice architectural buildings. They are palaces for the kings in Vrindavan. The kings had the habit to sometimes come and live in these palaces because they wanted to make spiritual advancement in the wonderful atmosphere of Braj. So this particular king came. He had a vast retinue, also eine Begleitschaft, ein Heer von Dienern, and almost an army of servants with him. And they carried big trunks for the king's use. So the prime minister was also there, and was organizing the unloading of the trunks. And he said, this trunk goes in the sleeping room of the king, that trunk goes to the kitchen, that trunk goes to the bathroom, it has the buckets and the soap and everything there. And the king was also there. Everything, his palace was furnished, everything was arranged. And then he needed to just quickly go and answer the call of nature, so he put his kingly shawl, a beautiful silken shawl, on one of the trunks, so that he could go and just quickly go answer nature's call. When he came back, he saw how a monkey, the once Bhaktisvarupa Damodara Maharaj was talking about, was just diving down from a tree, taking that shawl into the tree, and this kingly shawl, and he started to eat on it and destroy the shawl. The king went up through the staircase in his room to get his shawl back, but as he looked on the shawl, on the monkey, he started all of a sudden to cry and cry and cry. The minister who observed all this was thinking, strange. This king should not cry. He should take maybe his sword and throw it after the monkey and behave like a real Kshatriya. What is wrong with our king? For 1 week he observed the behavior of the king. And he saw that this king was extremely humble. He was no longer commanding anyone around. He would sometimes sit in his room alone, chant a lot of japa, and only read in holy scriptures. He could see the behavior of the king was totally changed. And sometimes he saw the king crying. So after 1 week, this became too much for the minister. He thought, my king has become a woman. That's not very good. He needs to be a little bit on top of the world. And he went to the minister and said to the king, I'm very sorry, but I have this question and I'm responsible that your stay is nice here. Can you tell me why you cried when the monkey took your shawl away? I thought it was wrong reaction. You should have been a little angry and a little, you're the king. He took away your this and that, your royal insignia. The king said, my dear minister, listen very carefully. I had come as a king to Vrindavan with many servants, many trunks, and my kingly shawl. But Srimati Radharani and Krishna do not allow people to come in the false material ego to Vrindavan. I was in the ego of a world conqueror, of a very rich thing, but this way you cannot come to Vrindavan. Therefore, Krishna personally sent me that monkey, and he took away my shawl to remind me, come as a servant, don't come as a master, if you want to enter the real Vrindavan. I very much appreciated how Bhaktisvarupa Damodara Maharaj said this servant principle is an important spiritual principle when you go to Vrindavan. He also talked about the natural humility of a Vaishnava, which he so perfectly exemplifies. So these two, service and a humble attitude, and finally Shravana and Kirtana, hearing well about Krishna and chanting about Krishna, will be your personal key, which will open the door to Vrindavan. Thank you very much for hearing us, and now we want to again say thank you also for staying so long. Please forgive us. We really went with lightning speed. We risked our life and a lot of Lakshmi in coming here, because you get fined so heavily in Switzerland. We broke all the rules of the traffic. Actually, Devananda Pandit was guiding us in this endeavor. Thank you once again, and I wish you a very nice continuation of this Nama-Hatta program. I'm extremely impressed by the service of our Shyamananda and his good wife Ratna Manjari, who really are an example of consistent service to all of you, who help you to make advancement in Krishna consciousness, who bring you further up, and they do it consistently. That is beständig. Very impressed also that our Milita is still so happily hosting our Nama-Hatta devotees in her cosmic room, in her universal cosmic room. So thank you very much for rendering this a very important service to the Vaishnavas. Please continue with your wonderful services. And now all of you go to Vrindavan and you go into the Yamuna. This is really an example of steady progress in the association of devotees. All the best. Please say with me, Shri Vrindavan Dhama ki Jai, Shri Nama-Hatta ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, His Holiness Bhaktisvarupa Damodara Maharaja ki Jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. When you go to I I know that some of you might be shocked, what is this? It's not like Gurezi or something like that. It's the way the happy pilgrims in Vrindavan express their great appreciation for Sripada and Krishna, who have enabled them to come and to be in Vrindavan.
Yeah.
You will see everywhere groups of pilgrims going like this. So I wanted to prepare you. Hare Krishna. Good. So Shyamananda, would you like to tell us how we should progress in our program?
I'd like to thank you all, you both, Maharaj, for enlightening us. You have some other intention of the program? Or?
I'm looking at the clock. And maybe because it's 10 o'clock and serviert ihr Prasadam?
Ja.
Dann würde ich sagen, lass uns Prasadam.
Okay, so there will be prasadam.
Yeah.
I hope for everybody, a little bit at least.
We also brought, maybe Maharaj and myself could distribute some sweets we brought from Medolago. Gaurahari, would you like to get the blue bag? Also da, wir haben richtig Kuchen, wir haben alles dabei, also richtig, And I want to also take, before we all take the prasadam and then slowly leave, I wanted to all